Hey guys, welcome back. Part number 4 of my Heinkel 111 build. Today we're going to carry on with the construction and do some riveting. So let's go ahead and get started. Hey, welcome back. So last time we had the engines installed and now we're going to head and finish up the main assembly. So I've done quite a lot off camera before we started. I just need to dry fit it and really concentrate and figure out how it all went together. So kind of let me show you kind of where we're at with this. It's going to be hard to get some camera now because it's getting quite big. So I put the main kind of framing on there. The wings are on obviously, and we're looking good. There was a lot of work going in here and a lot of kind of fettling and stuff. It's not absolutely perfect around here, but there's nothing better I can do here. It's best I can do. So I'll kind of get the instructions, I think, talk you through what I'm done here. I've just put these, added that extra glue in the back here, so that's why I've got these closed pegs holding it on. So again, it's hard to move this thing around. So here's super glue. So at the very end, these gaps here, it's just normal glue wouldn't hold it together. So look, my usual trick, dab with super glue, some kicker, dries instantly, and then you kind of spot weld it. Again, it looks a little bit gnarly around here, but we'll add fillers and sand it all back. It's going to look fine once it's done. So just super glue. I'm having to use this stuff. I think I like Bob Smith's Industries better. This really dries up in the nozzle and stuff. But with super glue, as always, just buy the smallest one you can because they dry out pretty quickly and go off. So don't buy like a whole ounce. There's like a quarter of an ounce is more than enough for me. And then I've just got the kicker. I don't really like this kicker, to be honest with you. It makes a mess. Don't put any paintwork. I definitely don't spray it. What I do is I just unscrew it and then just literally just with this kind of straw thing in the middle, I just touch it or put it against it and it dries. Don't spray it again because it just way too much comes out. It's way too, you can't control it, and it's not, makes a bit of a mess and mess to be a model. So that's what I did here. These parts really kind of get that together because and then yeah. So we got to this stage. So I can't get these any more flush. There is a bit of a gap. So I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Once it's all painted and stuff, I think it'll be fine. Do I need to add a little bit of a my sprue glue or filler just down the wing joint here? And you see there's a bit of a gap. Not too bad though. And yeah, there you go. So let me take this, put it to the side, and then bring in the instructions. And then I can kind of talk through some of the tips and lessons learned from me doing this. So we obviously ended with adding these two engines on. That's the last part. And then today, what I did was, firstly, what I did with these parts, 18, 19, 20, 21, they kind of goes around the edge of the framework, the panels that go around the engine. I did mark on back here, this area here with a Sharpie, just wrote 20, 18, the part number on it, because you don't get this mixed up because it might be a bit hard to figure it out. So did those. It's asking you to basically put those in and build it around it. My top tip is don't glue it to the lower wing section. Just have it loose so you can move it around, because otherwise you have a step. So just glue the parts together, but don't glue it onto the lower wing. So that goes on both left and right. On the bottom here, something I didn't do, but make sure you put C38 in first before you do C48. For some reason I did it the other way around. So what happens is those two pipes you got left hanging, they basically go into the two holes and it just clicks on the back there. Once that's in, then you go ahead and add this to the front of it. This just sits on the front. There's like a little groove and just sits on the front. Don't do what I did and add C5. Do that at the very end. It's going to snap off. So leave that off. So that's kind of wraps you up there. But it's saying to put the other side on. I actually did that side first. So I did the two sides, then I did the lower sections. This is the underside. And again, don't glue it to this lower section. And then this is kind of where we're up to. The little clear part for the light goes in. I think you probably have to add it before you add the upper wing. And once you got the flapper goes on, and then you got the wing on, glue around it. And then once you get to this bit here with the engine, because it's loose, we didn't glue it to the lower wing, you can then adjust it, pull it up or down to make sure it's flush with the top, and then glue it all in place. That's the way to do it. That's not necessarily the way I did it, but lessons learned, that's how I would do it next time I would build another one of these. So again, don't glue these two what was it, C... D1 2018, and then on the other side 21 and 19. Again, glue them together as a piece, but don't glue them to the wing section, because then you need that little bit of play so you can get it. I did glue it, and then I had like a huge step, so I could actually manage to break it apart and pull it up a little bit to get rid of that step and kind of make it look like semi-reasonable. But again, it's really tricky. This is a very, very complex and difficult kit. This might be one of the most difficult kits in terms of fuselage assembly I've ever done in my life. Just so many parts, different shapes going in here. It is very, very hard to get a nice fit, but it is doable with some time and some dry fitting. So I'm going to clean up those seams, take care of that, and then we're going to move on with some more, adding some more parts onto the engine here, and more cowlings and stuff, and get this finished off. Okay, so it's been a day pretty much of sanding and filling, and we're looking in good shape. So bring it back in. You see I put the cowling on this, and the front here, this one's be closed up. This one I have to just leave it open like that so you can see all the detail. We'll obviously need to mask all that up before we start painting. Also, I realized that the mask came off the window here too, so this needs to be masked up too. I'm totally going to forget that, I know. So yeah, took care of these seam lines, a little bit of wet sanding and some filling. The gaps here, I think it could be okay. Just need a little bit polishing up and just tweaking. So we're in good shape there. So that's looking really good. And now it's easier to handle. Now we've got the big wings, you can hold it by the wing, so we're not like touching. I did break off one of the guns, which I knew I would. No big deal. And there we go, looking pretty cool. Again, happy how it's turning out. Just a little bit of elbow grease, old school modeling, you know, filling and stuff, and getting rid of those gaps and steps and such. So moving along, the bit that's been dreading the whole build is this guy. And actually it's gone together pretty good. So 3 pieces make up this, which I hate. But I did do a lot of dry fitting, and it did, again, fit pretty decent. And there we go. So before we do that, I got to paint up and decal a couple of instrument panels, and I think we have a 50 cal goes through. And then this will just go on the front. Like so. And again, not a bad fit. And I'm definitely happy with that. So I'll go on like that. And we start to get the shape and almost ready for painting and stuff. So how I glued this together, I used my white top Tamiya cement or the hexagonal, depending where you are in the world. This stuff, it's resin, so it shouldn't frost your glass. So again, just very light piece, like resin glue, glued it together. And I also used extra thin too with some of the other windows. I think you can use extra thin very lightly, as long as you don't get it all over anywhere, and also as long as you have it open like this so the air can get in. And I think that will does the frosting, I hear. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I heard. When you put a canopy on and it's closed, all the fumes and stuff, that's what makes it frost. But nonetheless, I got it all like this. Is very delicate, and I know it could fall together really easily. But hopefully once you get it onto that, it's going to look good. And then it's not, the shape of it is supposed to be like that. It's not around like circles. See how it's kind of flatter on one side? That's exactly how it should be. And obviously masking it beforehand is the way to go as well. So cool. So plenty of work to begin on with. I'm going to start working on these instruments panels. We'll get this guy on. Finish up all the painting. Sorry, finish up painting. Finish up all the sanding and get it all nice and smooth. And then we just need to go back and rescribe and add some rivets and stuff in. And we're pretty much ready to paint. So still lots of stuff to do. So let me get going and I'll be right back. Okay, so carrying on with this. It looks a little dirty. Dust and stuff on here. Got the window in there, got the dials in there, the glasswork on the bottom here. Sorry, I'm sure that was a shot, the window there. And on here, we've put the nose section on. So it depends if you have version 1, 2, and 3, we're doing version 4. So otherwise there's different guns and stuff, but we follow the instructions, glued that in place, no problem. And again, I'm using the Tamiya cement, the thicker kind of gloopy, gluey kind of resin glue, so it's not frosting the glass. As you can see there, it looks no problem at all. Also just glued in the instrument panel, and I think we're ready to stick this on the front finally. And this will kind of complete the shape of the aircraft. Just seeing how it fits. I think it'll be okay. Just a little bit of fettling here and there. And it's going to look kind of like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run a bead of glue. Oh, I glued this part on too. Again with the same glue. Okay, I think it got it all around the edge. Now we're simply just going to line this guy up. Stick it in. Oop. I think it kind of goes like that. I'm just going to hold this in place. I'm sorry, I'm off camera a little bit. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close. So at this point, you know, it's not going to be 100% seamless and stuff, but it's just all the glass work. It really scares me. So it's gripped, looking around the edge, looking pretty cool. And again, does give you some nice wiggle room in the cement. Big fingerprint in there too. I'm nervous to take all this glass work off too. So anyway, so I'm going to hold this, give some pressure, and find it's just a clear part to go on there too. So I'm just going to, again, make sure it sticks really good, and then you can see there's the iconic kind of shape of the aircraft, and we're coming along nicely. So I still got some seams I need to take care of, some clean up and stuff, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about rescribing and doing some rivet work.
Alrighty, so carrying on nicely here. Now we're ready to do some riveting, although actually, spoiler alert, I did rivet already on here. Now let's talk about rivets. So let me kind of scoot this over a little bit out of the way. So the best riveter is Rosie the Riveter. Oh, look at my camera. So the guy who, RP Tools, I can't remember the name of that exactly who did it, but the guy who makes the wheels for them, he sadly passed away a couple of years ago, so they kind of discontinued. So they're really hard to find, but you can still get them at the time of filming this from UMM USA. I've got his business card right here, that's where I got them from. That website right here. And there's different sizes, 0.4 up to 1. Now, I've got a few here. You can do single ones or double ones. The double ones will actually be pretty handy. But what I found is these smaller guys, 0.5, 0.65, you don't really see them, to be honest with you. By the time you got paint on and stuff, spoiler alert, it's really hard to see. So pretty much stick to 0.75 or 1 mil is the way to go. 1 mil's good, that's more your 30-second scale stuff. Your 0.75 is really 30-second, or it can drop down to 48. It actually says there on there. So for this, I'm using 0.75. Now, I've had a bit of hit and miss with this, because again, you got to press pretty hard or whatever, or you got to get it nicely done and a thin paint, because if you use these small tiny rivets, you just, like I say, you don't see them. So I've had mixed success. The only one that really worked out was the semi-second scale B17 I did, and I think I used 0.75 then, which is way oversized, but at least you could see the rivets when you put the paint and wash on and stuff. So did it again, and it's pretty straightforward. So you get them single wheel, double wheel. Now these aren't cheap. I think when I looked last time, they're about $25 or $30 each. But it's one of those tools that should last you, your whole modeling career pretty much. So again, this is really hard to hold because I got guns sticking out. I got all kinds of stuff going on here. But what I basically did was I started with a ruler, and I just left the ruler, just did it freehand. And what you're going to do is you're just going to basically roll it over every single inside and outside every panel line and add rivets. Now, I'm not a rivet counter. I'm sure it's special. You go online and get special rivet plans and stuff and do it all neatly and stuff. For me, I just don't care. I just follow the panel line. So I've done it pretty much on the side, the fuselage, and I've not done the underside. I don't know if I'm going to do the wing, to be honest with you, underside, because you're not going to see it. And you guys on the channel know, who follow me, if there's stuff like internals or stuff you're not going to see, why bother spending your time doing it? And when it's on a bench like this, you're not going to see underneath the wing. Apologies again, I keep knocking that stand, which is very annoying, I know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple and kind of show you what it is. Basically just going to run it down the line, and how I say you do it is kind of like when you play pool. Because when you play pool, the game pool, you don't look at the ball, you look ahead where you're going to want the ball to go. And the same thing here, don't look down where you're starting, look where you want to finish. So if I take, let's say, the pound line right here, I'm just going to take my wheel on the edge and just roll it down, and I'm just going to roll it back down the other side, and we'll do this one right here. Boom. Some of these do have rivets, ironically. Again, as easy as that, and you get a little bit more confident, you go a little bit faster.
Again, I don't care if it's perfectly straight. You could use a ruler, but for me, you know, in World War II, I'm sure they weren't mechanically putting these rivets into a perfectly straight line. I'm sure they're slightly out, some of these, right? So they're churning these things out pretty quickly. So again, just following any power line, and easy as that. And I'm not sure if you can see this in the light or not, but you hopefully see the rivets go in. But again, it's not easy to see.
So that's pretty much it. Again, I'm using a 0.75 Rosie the Riveter, and that's pretty much it.
You can use a ruler if you wanted to. I mean, for these longer ones, just place a ruler and just run it down the side of the ruler like so, and just put some rivets in. Again, until we get the wash on, you're not going to see this stuff. So that's pretty much it in a quick 2 minutes. How I rivet, super quick, down and dirty. Again, I don't want you waste your time. You don't sit there, I'm sure, and watch me for 35 minutes rivet the whole thing. Now, it did take me about 15-20 minutes to do the whole upper side and the fuselage, so it's not, you know, I go pretty quickly. Again, don't worry too much about placement, just run it down lines and I'm good to go. So that being said, I think I'm going to wrap this video up right now. I think we're good as far as we can go to construction. I'm kind of a little bit over construction right now. I'm kind of ready to move this thing along. So I'm just going to literally mask up the engine here and the bay here and the bottom. And we can come back next week and we can get going painting, which will be the fun part. So again, a lot of work getting into this, but I think we're seeing light at the end of the tunnel. So thank you as always for watching. Appreciate the support, and I'll see you next week. Have a great week. Goodbye.